A reality TV star in trouble with the law once again. Erica Banks, who you might know from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, was arrested in Brookhaven. Police said that they pulled over a car that she was riding in because the tag was hard to read, and it turns out the car was reported stolen. Officers said that Banks and the driver had what looked like ecstasy and marijuana on them, so now they're both facing serious drug charges. Banks is currently in jail in DeKalb County.
In hip-hop, we've seen artists go through a lot, but this situation with Erica Banks caught everyone off guard. This situation involves the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star, real name Erica Bro, getting arrested twice in the same city within 4 months. Here's what actually went down. This goes way deeper than just another headline. Let me break down everything that happened. Let's start from the beginning. To understand this, you gotta know who Erica Banks really is. We're talking about the Dallas rapper who blew up in 2021 with her track that took over the internet. Banks, born Erica Charmaine Bro on October 5, 1998, came up from DeSoto, Texas. At 12 years old, she was winning poetry contests in school. By high school, she turned that poetry into rap. She went to Texas A&M University Commerce on a nursing path, but during her sophomore year, she dropped out to chase music full-time.
My dad wanted me to be a nurse. Like, he swore that was like the job, and that's what I went to school for. But I didn't really want to do that. So, I mean, that's why I rap now, because rap is what I wanted to do. But he did think that I was going to be a nurse.
Her come-up wasn't overnight, even though it looked that way. Banks dropped her first single in 2018 through SoundCloud, then released 3 mixtapes independently. In 2020, she signed with 1501 Certified Entertainment, the same label that had Megan Thee Stallion. That June, she dropped her self-titled 4th mixtape. The project had a track called Bust It that she actually recorded back in December 2019. Here's the thing though, Banks didn't even want to release Bust It at first. She told Harper's Bazaar straight up that she didn't like the song when it was completed. Her producer Sergeant J and her friends had to push her to put it out. The track samples Nelly's Hot and Hairy and goes into this heavy beat that had the clubs going crazy. That's not even the craziest part.
Okay, so if you've been on social media in the last few days, you've come across the Bust It Challenge. This Erica Banks trend is completely taking over TikTok. So the Bust It Challenge starts with an individual in casual clothing, messy hair, no makeup, dancing while facing the camera. Now, when the beat drops, you drop to the floor in the Bust It pose, transitioning into a glamorous outfit with hair and makeup up to the nines. And if you're a huge TikTok fan, you're gonna wanna hear the best ones.
In early January 2021, a TikTok user named Erica Davila created what became the Bust It Challenge. The challenge was simple but effective. People would start in sweats with no makeup while the Nelly sample played. Then when Banks' hook dropped, they'd switch to being all dressed up and drop it low. Within days, millions were doing it. The challenge got over 5.5 million videos on TikTok. Harper's Bazaar called it the first major TikTok trend of 2021. Banks found out about the challenge when she woke up to calls and messages about a viral TikTok. She wasn't even familiar with TikTok at that time. She told Harper's Bazaar it went from 5,000 views to 1 million in just over 7 days. By January 2021, Bust It debuted at number 100 on the Billboard Hot 100. It eventually peaked at number 47. That same month, Banks signed with Warner Records. In February 2021, Travis Scott jumped on the remix, which pushed the song even further. Banks had officially made it. She was getting booked everywhere, money was coming in, and other artists wanted features. She told The Source that she couldn't go out in public without being noticed anymore. Fast forward to June 2023. Banks joined Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for season 11 when the show moved to MTV. She came in as one of the new faces, bringing her viral status and outspoken personality to the show. The show description said she was taking advantage of her viral status and getting into situations with cast members. She was dealing with label drama on the show, trying to break away from her old deal while navigating relationships with other cast members like Chaotic, Rennie Rucci, and Amy Luciani. By 2023 and 2024, Banks was still putting out music. She dropped tracks with Big Boogie and other artists. She told the WNTTLK podcast in August 2024 that she felt like she had grown a lot. She said her first project, Cocky on Purpose, was very personal because she was new and trying to express her feelings. But Cocky on Purpose 2 was made to be more fun, with more club vibes instead of deep storytelling. In December 2024, just days before her recent arrest, Banks signed a new deal in a joint venture with Arista Records. Things looked like they were moving in the right direction. She was 27 years old, had a hit under her belt, was on reality TV, and had a fresh record deal. Then, everything changed. Here's where it gets interesting. On August 7th, 2025, Banks was at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. According to Fox 5 Atlanta, she was going through the North Checkpoint when TSA discovered something in her Louis Vuitton bag on the conveyor belt during the X-ray screening. It was a firearm. Police ran a check on the weapon and discovered it came back as stolen property. The report said the item was stolen in 2018 out of Greensville, South Carolina. That's 7 years before Banks allegedly had it in her possession. According to the incident report from Atlanta police, Banks told officers the item belonged to her security, but wouldn't give them a name. She was arrested at the airport and taken to Clayton County Jail. She was charged with theft by receiving stolen property. Banks was booked and released within a few hours. Her legal representative released a statement at the time saying it was their contention that when she was caught with this weapon, she had no idea it was stolen. The statement said she is not guilty of any offense, and that once they get to court, their job is to make sure this never becomes part of her record and to have these charges dismissed. Now this is when things really popped off. Just 4 months later, on December 8, 2025, Banks was riding passenger in a vehicle on Buford Highway in Brookhaven, Georgia. This is in the metro Atlanta area. According to Brookhaven Police Department, officers stopped the vehicle because it had a tinted tag cover, which is illegal under Georgia law. That's when things escalated quick. Officers noticed the vehicle also had a dealer tag on the rear. When they ran it through state databases, the car came back as stolen. Atlanta police had reported it stolen. Officers ordered Banks and the driver, 25-year-old Amani Durton from Simpsonville, South Carolina, out of the vehicle. Police conducted an inventory search of the vehicle. According to multiple reports from Fox 5 Atlanta, WSB-TV, and other outlets, officers found suspected illegal substances inside Banks' purse. They also found plant-based substances packaged for distribution inside the vehicle. Banks was charged with 2 felony counts related to possession with intent to distribute. Durton, the driver, was charged with felony theft by receiving a stolen vehicle, felony possession with intent to distribute, and multiple misdemeanor violations for the traffic stops. Both were booked into DeKalb County Jail on December 8th. Banks was later released, though the exact timeline wasn't immediately clear. According to CBS News and other outlets, she has since been released from custody. The hip-hop community and fans immediately took to social media when news broke. X went crazy with reactions. Some fans expressed shock, pointing out this was her second arrest in Atlanta in just 4 months. Others defended her, saying everyone should wait for the facts before jumping to conclusions. TMZ broke the story on December 9th, 2025, with full details about the traffic stop. The Shade Room and other hip-hop blogs picked it up immediately. Hot New Hip Hop, Hip Hop Wired, and According to Hip Hop all ran stories within hours. The coverage was everywhere. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta fans had mixed reactions. Some pointed out that reality TV stars often face amplified scrutiny. When you're on a show like Love and Hip Hop, your personal life becomes part of a narrative that audiences feel connected to. Every headline becomes part of an ongoing story that viewers are invested in, neither one backing down from their positions. Fans who supported Banks said she deserves the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Critics pointed out the pattern of 2 arrests in 4 months, both in metro Atlanta, both involving alleged possession of items that didn't belong to her. The situation turned personal for some fans who had followed Banks since her Busset days. They remembered the 22-year-old who was overwhelmed by her sudden viral success, who told interviewers she was just learning how TikTok worked when her song blew up. Now they were seeing mugshots. The immediate consequences hit different areas of Banks' life. Her reality TV career with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta came under scrutiny. The show has dealt with cast members facing legal issues before, but each situation gets handled case by case. Her music career also faced questions. She had just signed that joint venture deal with Arista Records in December 2024. Industry insiders started wondering how this would affect that partnership. Record labels typically have morality clauses in contracts that address situations involving legal troubles. The business angle matters here. Banks had built a brand around being an outspoken, confident artist who came from Texas and made it big. Her social media presence was strong, with millions of followers across platforms. Sponsors and brand partnerships often step back when controversies arise, even before any legal guilt is established. But here's what most people missed. Banks had been working to rebuild and rebrand after her initial viral success. The challenge with being known for one viral hit is maintaining momentum afterward. She had been putting in work, dropping new music, staying visible on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and signing that new deal. This arrest threatened to overshadow all that progress. The legal issues themselves carried serious weight. According to Georgia law, the charges Banks faced were felonies related to possession with intent to distribute. These aren't minor charges. If convicted, they carry potential prison time, fines, and a permanent record. To understand why this matters, we got to talk about the bigger picture. Atlanta has been the center of hip-hop for years now. But with that spotlight comes increased attention from law enforcement. Many artists have faced similar situations in the Atlanta area. Sources close to the situation, speaking to various outlets, suggested that Banks may not have known about the alleged contents or the status of the vehicle. Her previous attorney statement about the airport incident emphasized her lack of knowledge about the item being stolen. The same defense appeared to be taking shape for this second arrest. This actually goes back to a pattern we've seen in hip-hop. Young artists who blow up fast sometimes find themselves in situations they're not prepared for. The rapid transition from regular life to fame, money, and constant attention can lead to decisions or associations that create problems down the line. There's millions of dollars potentially at stake here. Banks' earning potential from music, shows, appearances, and brand deals could all be affected by legal troubles. The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta platform alone provides significant income and exposure. Losing that would be a major hit. The power dynamics in this situation also matter. Banks had fought to get out of her previous label situation, which was documented on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She had just secured what seemed like a better deal with Arista. Now she was facing legal issues that could complicate those business relationships. What people might not know is that Atlanta's police departments have been very active with traffic stops in certain areas. Buford Highway, where Banks was stopped, is known for heavy police presence. The tinted tag cover violation that initially prompted the stop is something officers use as probable cause for further investigation. The fact that this was her second incident in Atlanta within 4 months raised questions about her decision-making or the people around her. In the first case, she allegedly had an item she claimed belonged to her security. In the second case, she was passenger in a vehicle driven by someone else. Both times, she allegedly wasn't the owner of the items or vehicle in question. This affects who controls Banks' narrative going forward. Right now, the story is about arrests and charges. Her team needs to shift that narrative back to her music and success. But every court date, every legal update keeps bringing the attention back to these incidents. As of today, December 11th, 2025, Banks has been released from DeKalb County Jail following the December 8th arrest. According to jail records and news reports, she posted bond and was released. The exact amount of bond wasn't immediately disclosed in most reports. The charges from both incidents are still pending. Banks faces the theft by receiving stolen property charge from the August airport incident. She also faces 2 felony counts related to possession with intent to distribute from the December traffic stop. Court dates for both cases haven't been widely publicized yet, though Fox 5 Atlanta reported that she's expected to appear in court soon for the airport case. The December charges will likely have separate court proceedings. Word is that Banks' legal team is preparing a defense similar to what they stated after the first arrest. The strategy appears to be arguing lack of knowledge about the alleged stolen property and items found. Her attorneys will likely argue she had no intent to commit any crimes. Just yesterday, more details emerged about the co-defendant Amani Durton. Multiple news outlets reported that Durton, who was driving the allegedly stolen vehicle, faces his own set of charges, including the vehicle theft and possession charges. His connection to Banks wasn't immediately clear from public reports. People are still watching to see if this affects Banks' position on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. MTV hasn't released any official statement about her status on the show. The network has dealt with cast members facing legal issues in the past, with outcomes varying case by case. Sometimes cast members continue filming during legal proceedings. Other times, they're removed from the show. The hip-hop community is also watching to see how this affects Banks' music career. Will other artists still want to collaborate? Will radio stations continue playing her tracks? Will streaming numbers take a hit? These are all questions that will be answered in the coming weeks and months. Banks herself hasn't made any public statements on social media about the December arrest. Her Instagram and other platforms haven't addressed the situation directly. That silence is likely on advice from her legal team, as anything she says publicly could potentially be used in court proceedings. What started as a routine traffic stop for a tinted tag cover turned into something that's changing the trajectory of Banks' career right now. 2 arrests in 4 months, both in the same metro area, both allegedly involving items that didn't belong to her. The pattern raised eyebrows across the industry. Keep your eyes on upcoming court dates and any statements from Banks' legal team. Also, watch for any announcements from MTV about her status on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. The music industry will be paying attention to see if labels, collaborators, or venues start distancing themselves. This shows you how quickly things can change in hip-hop. One moment you're celebrating a new record deal and planning your next moves. The next moment you're facing multiple felony charges and trying to protect your career. It's a reminder that the people you associate with, the situations you find yourself in, and the decisions you make all matter when you're in the public eye. The bigger picture here is about how female rappers especially face face intense scrutiny when legal issues arise. The coverage, the social media reactions, and the potential career impact often hit differently based on gender. Banks is dealing with that reality right now as this story continues to develop. So that's where we're at with this whole situation. Erica Banks went from being the 22-year-old who was overwhelmed by TikTok success to a 27-year-old facing serious legal charges in Atlanta. The Busset rapper, who signed a fresh deal with Arista just days before her latest arrest, is now navigating a legal situation that could impact everything she's built. The facts are clear. 2 arrests in 4 months, multiple felony charges pending, a reality TV career in question, a music career at a crossroads. The outcome will depend on what happens in court, but the damage to her public image has already started. This also shows how the entertainment industry works when controversy hits. Networks evaluate their options. Labels watch closely. Collaborators think twice. Fans split into defenders and critics. And the artist in the middle has to keep fighting to control their own narrative while dealing with the legal system. What's coming next matters a lot. Court proceedings will determine the legal outcome. MTV's decision will affect her reality TV platform. The music industry's response will show if people still want to work with her, and fans will ultimately decide if they continue supporting her music. The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star who brought club energy and outspoken confidence to season 11 is now in a completely different situation. Whether she can bounce back from this depends on how the legal cases resolve and how well her team manages the fallout. But that's not even the full story here. What makes this situation even more complicated is the timing. Banks had momentum building again. After years of trying to recapture that Busset energy, she was finding her footing. The joint venture with Arista Records represented a fresh start. She was getting booked for shows, working on new music, and maintaining her presence on reality TV. The question now becomes whether the industry will give her space to fight these cases or if doors start closing before she even gets her day in court. We've seen it go both ways in hip-hop. Some artists face charges, beat them in court, and come back stronger. Their fan base rallies around them. Other artists show support, and the narrative becomes about overcoming adversity. Other times, the damage happens before the verdict. Sponsors pull back. Collaborations get canceled. Shows get cut. The court of public opinion moves faster than the legal system, and by the time someone is cleared of charges, their career has already taken hits that are hard to recover from. For Banks specifically, the challenge is compounded by being a female rapper in an industry that already has different standards. Male artists have bounced back from way more serious situations and maintained their careers. Female artists often face harsher judgment and less room for error. The double standard is real, and Banks is experiencing it firsthand. There's also the reality of her age and career stage. At 27, she's not a new artist anymore, but she's also not established enough to weather this storm easily. She had one major viral hit that put her on the map. Since then, she's been working to build beyond that moment. These arrests interrupt that process at a critical time. The financial implications keep adding up too. Legal defense costs money. Good lawyers don't come cheap, especially when you're facing multiple felony charges across 2 separate cases. Then there's potential lost income from canceled appearances, delayed music projects, and brands stepping back. The costs extend beyond just lawyer fees. Her team is also dealing with reputation management in real time. Every blog post, every social media comment, every news story shapes public perception. They're fighting a battle on multiple fronts: the legal front in court, the public relations front in media, and the career front in the industry. What's interesting is how quiet Banks has been through all of this. No emotional Instagram posts, no lengthy explanations, no public defenses. That discipline suggests she's listening to her lawyers and taking this seriously. But silence also allows others to control the narrative. Every day without her side of the story is another day for speculation and assumptions to spread. The co-defendant situation with Amani Durton also raises questions that haven't been fully answered. Who is he to Banks? How did they end up in that vehicle together? Was this a one-time situation or an ongoing association? These details matter because they provide context that could shift how people view her involvement. Looking at the broader hip-hop landscape, Atlanta specifically has become a focal point for these types of situations. The city that gave us so many legendary artists has also seen numerous legal entanglements involving rappers and associated figures. The combination of a thriving music scene, visible wealth, and active law enforcement creates a perfect storm. What's also worth noting is how this affects Banks' relationships within the industry. The people who were reaching out for features or collaborations might think twice now. Promoters booking shows have to consider the risk. Even other Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast members might distance themselves to avoid association with controversy. The streaming numbers tell part of the story too. After arrest news breaks, some artists see their streams actually increase from curiosity and attention. Others see drops as platforms and playlists pull back. Radio stations make decisions about what they want to play. Banks' team is likely monitoring these metrics closely. There's also the festival circuit to consider. Summer 2026 festival lineups are being planned right now. A pending legal case with serious charges can make promoters nervous. One arrest might be explainable. 2 arrests in 4 months creates a pattern that makes people hesitant. The reality TV angle adds another layer. Love and Hip Hop thrives on drama, but there's a difference between relationship drama and legal drama. MTV has corporate partners, advertisers, and a brand image to protect. If keeping Banks on the show becomes more trouble than it's worth, they'll make that business decision. Her social media following matters too. Banks has millions of followers across platforms. That audience represents value to brands and potential partners. But if her engagement drops, if negative comments start overwhelming positive ones, that value decreases. Social media metrics directly translate to earning potential in today's music industry. There's also the question of what Banks learned from the first arrest. 4 months between incidents isn't a long time. This suggests either bad luck, poor judgment, or problematic patterns in her circle. Whichever it is, she needs to address it moving forward. The intersection of her music career and reality TV career complicates things further. If MTV decides to part ways with her, does that actually help her music career by removing the reality TV stigma? Or does it hurt by taking away a major platform for exposure? How this plays out could redefine Banks' career path entirely. For now, Banks is out on bond, facing charges in 2 separate cases, and watching her career trajectory change in real time. It's a situation that went from bad to worse quick, and the resolution is still months away at minimum. Let me know what you think about this situation in the comments. Do you think Banks will be able to come back from this? How do you think MTV should handle her status on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? And what does this say about the pressure and scrutiny artists face when they're in the spotlight? Drop your thoughts below. If you want to stay updated on this story as it develops, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be covering every major update as the court cases move forward and as more information comes out. More updates coming as this develops. This is the type of situation that shows how fast things can change in hip-hop and how one traffic stop can potentially derail years of work. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.